Ever wondered how safe your data is online? Today, we're diving into the world of cybersecurity, what it is, and why it matters, and how you can protect yourself. Remember, our channel Talks Matters Tech, and you're welcome. I'm your host today, Collins. And as we dive deeper into the matters cybersecurity, it is good that we begin with what the definition is, as we know it as the practice of protecting systems, networks, and data from digital attacks. And the real world analogy that would help is thinking of it like locking your doors and windows, but for your digital life. Now, I want to mention a few things that pertains to cybersecurity, and that is hackers and malware and phishing and data breaches. Because waking up and, for instance, finding that your bank account has been tampered with, your M-Pesa PIN has been tampered with, you're realizing that you're no longer in control of your digital devices, indeed that could be a shock. And the reason why it matters is because it cuts across personal level, business level, national level, and making mention of it as a personal level is that we want you to be at a point where you're protecting your identity, finances, and privacy. And speaking of it on a business level is that it prevents loss of sensitive data, reputational damage, and financial loss. And even on a national level, it is that you or nationally, we're safeguarding critical infrastructure and government systems. And for instance, I want just to also talk about what we refer to as the pillars, right? What it entails, and maybe do some little descriptions. For instance, when you talk matters confidentiality, it is that we want to ensure that our data is not accessible to unauthorized users, because once someone gets access to your data, you know that it will be tampered with, and you see that goes head on with matters confidentiality. And on integrity, making use of data is accurate and unaltered, just ensuring that no data is actually tampered with, and that data should be available as of when it is required, whereby systems and data must be accessible when needed. And on authentication, that data need to be verified before granting access, that whatever information is required, we need to ensure that it is authentic, such that whoever is accessing it needs to be verified, so that your data or the national data or your personal data, it is not accessible just to anyone. And ensuring that actions can't be denied or erased. That is actually now what we usually call non-repudiation. Now, you'd be asking yourself, therefore, how do we use examples, or what are the examples in real life that you protect yourself and so that your identity is safe as it pertains to online? Use of passwords, something so basic where the password just help to authenticate whoever is accessing the data. Number 2, it's doing backups, where you ensure that it's available when needed. You're doing personal backup, so that whenever the device is lost or whenever something happened to your device, it is always available. That is what is referred to as what? As backup. And the third thing is what is referred to as encryption. Confidentiality, where you encrypt your data so that it's not just accessible to just whoever, right? Now, this video would not end obviously after us not talking about common cyber threats, and these are things like phishing, things like malware, things like social engineering, and another one called zero-day exploits. But I just maybe in some few seconds just touch on it so that you know what they are. And when you talk about phishing, remember here we are talking about fake emails, we are talking about tricking you into giving your personal info. Whoever just tricks you to give your personal information, it could be through a call, whereby they're just luring you so that you give your personal information, and in your mind you're not even aware that you're giving out your personal information. That is in cybersecurity, what we call phishing. And malware is harmful software like viruses and ransomware, and they are harmful to to your software. And social engineering, it's just manipulating people into breaking security protocol, whereby the security protocol is manipulated. And there is another one where attacks or unknown vulnerabilities. You see, at times your device is vulnerable and you're not aware. Your phone, it could be your iPod, it could be anything that you are just exposed, you're vulnerable, but you're not aware. So when you are threatened on that line, that is what we call zero-day exploit. But as I've already told us here, and we've spoken about it a number of times, is that you ought to protect yourself, and some just protection tips that you should use: using strong password, unique passwords, use of two-factor authentication, keeping your software up to date, avoiding suspicious links, clicking suspicious emails, using of antiviruses and firewalls. Now, as we are wrapping this up, I want you to know that cybersecurity isn't just for techies, it's for everyone. And a question would be, what would you do just to ensure that you stay safe online? So what I want you just to do is just please like, share, and subscribe to this channel, even as we will be looking into more and more matters tech. This was your host Collins, and this is ISO First Technology.